Fucking breeze.
What up, though? This is Knockouts in 3 Counts. But before we bring you another episode of Podcast Gold, let me tell you about the homies over at Michigan's Finest. Do you ever find yourself trying to get yourself together and thinking, man, this is going to be a great night, but I'm looking for that little extra something? Well, check out our friends at Michigan Finest. If you are into medical marijuana, recreational marijuana, concentrates, vapes, anything of that sort, Michigan's Finest has got you covered. And as you can see here, it's all easily done by their website. It's all curbside, and you'll be in and out in 2 minutes. And they're family owned and operated, so customer service is their number one goal. And now, since they are rocking with Knockouts in 3 Counts, use the code KO3MF. Yes, that's KO3MF. You get 10% off your entire order, but that does exclude featured items and items that are already on sale. But if you use that code, you're getting 10% off your items, and I promise you, either if you're looking for that big knockout or you're ready to hit the sheets for that 3 count, Michigan's Finest will get you together. Tell them Knockouts in 3 Counts sent you, and I promise you, you're going to be having a great night. Peace.
This is the Ring of Honor, a.k.a. Shane T, boy, the baddest champion you ever seen, boy.
This is Mr. Anderson.
This is good old JR Jim Ross, and you are listening.
You're listening to Knockouts in 3 Counts.
We got a new world champion.
That might be one of the craziest knockouts I've ever seen in my life.
Knockouts in 3 Counts is the podcast, baby. It's the real deal, baby.
Knockouts in 3 Counts starts now.
Just another Thursday, keeping your fucking peepers open, whether it's with bobby pins or good content. But we got another episode of Podcast Gold brought to you by the fine people at Michigan's Finest. They're going to be giving you the stuff that'll keep your eyes open like that, too. Just use that code KO3MF. But now that we got all the biznatch out the way, how y'all doing on another fucking Thursday? Everybody,
I
who's
just
watching,
realized.
how are y'all doing?
I just realized what you're talking about. It's fucking hilarious. I'm doing great.
Off
Man.
the dome!
Nice to start it out with a good laugh. That's funny. I'm gonna I'm gonna post that right now on my social media so everybody can see it. So go follow all the shit, whatever the shit.
Yeah, follow all the shit at KO3 Pod at Detroit Knock It. The shits. Follow them. The links are already in the description. But if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. J-Ball, Corey, what's good on a fucking Thursday?
Getting ready for a busy weekend on my end. Got hitting the big old 3-0 over the weekend, hitting a lot of places.
He's a baby.
Unfortunately, our times did not align with this one because I've been planning on going with these guys to their Cheapy Creepy event basically all year. Not realizing that it was going to fall directly on my birthday. So, yeah, that ain't.
Your birthday's right next to Halloween. When the fuck did you think it was going to fall?
I mean, that's a pretty cool birthday if you ask me.
It works out.
Wait. Is your birthday the 30th?
No, 29th.
29th.
Oh, damn. Your Miles' birthday is the day after yours. I was going to say y'all got the same birthday.
Oh, he's a devil knight, baby, huh?
Yeah, Devil Knight. Shout out to Miles the Fury Jury. If you didn't check it out, check out the past episodes and all that good shit.
But busy weekend on my end, hitting the apple orchard and stuff, starting the weekend off, and just lots of plans.
Which one you going to?
Blake's.
Bro, if they have the hot donuts, you got to make sure you get the hot ones. I went to Wired, bro, and it was the best because they got them either where you can buy them by the 6-pack. Or you tell them how much you want when you go through there. You go to that little green door. They hook you up with them little cinnamon donuts with the apple cider. Me and Little Tank was smashing them bitches.
Yeah, same thing. I like my apple cider.
Smashing them.
I don't like the one out the fridge. I like it when it's fresh, still hot.
Ice cold, stone cold. See what I did there? Just like his tea.
I've had my share of donuts, that's for sure. I love me some donuts, man.
Donuts.
Oh man,
this fall season went by too quick for me, so this will be my first.
I know, dude. I feel like it was just like August yesterday.
Oh, mine was just that was just my first one too. So you're all right. You're all right.
As long
if you guys are watching, have you guys had any cider donuts, any of that kind of stuff? What are y'all doing for Halloween? Are you candy people? I mean, I got tattoos today, so I was eating candy to keep my blood sugar up. At least that's the lie I was using. But how are y'all doing for Halloween?
What I really want to know is for all our non-Midwestern viewers out there, is this just a Midwest tradition, going to get apple cider and orchard or donuts every year? Is this
I mean,
well, we're like,
I wouldn't
pretty much
know.
the capital of apples is up in our region, so.
Do they do apple orchards out in LA and shit?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like
is it like
literally
in Florida? In Florida, are they going to the orange orchard?
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like, is this just a Midwest type of thing? Let me know, all our cross country viewers out there.
That's
but
funny.
that being said, what are we leading off with this week, huh?
I got a few things up my sleeve for y'all, but I guess since we were talking about MMA and all that stuff, it's a heavy combat sports weekend this weekend. First of all, I guess we should start with UFC Vegas because Silva versus Jake Paul is also going to lead us into the wrestling side of things. If you guys are watching, what are you guys watching this weekend? Are you guys watching anything wrestling? You watching the fights? Are you watching Anderson Silva versus Jake Paul and hoping like the rest of us that Anderson Silva can save MMA?
Better.
Oh, fuck. Let's start with save us, Spider. Save us instead of save us, Y2J. Kathy said I'm over pay-per-views. I fucking feel you.
Yeah.
At least you don't have to worry about that this weekend. Just a good old classic.
I'm not mistaken.
ESPN
So I read that this one is it's
Jake
a 5
Paul
o'clock.
in them is.
Huh?
Jake Paul versus Silva.
Oh yeah, the Jake Paul. Yeah. Correct.
UFC Vegas though. Is this a 5 o'clock main card thing? Is this what I read earlier?
I'm pulling it up now.
2 o'clock. I feel like I read 2 o'clock prelims, 5 o'clock main card.
7 o'clock main card is what I'm saying right now. I just pulled up the card.
Oh well, good.
Yeah,
well,
7 o'clock.
I guess it doesn't matter.
Four for the early.
I mean, this don't look like that bad of a card, man. I mean,
No,
like we
this thing's
said,
got
if you check the description,
solid
we're looking forward to Josh Fremd getting back in there in the UFC cage. Check out our last chat with Josh in the description. Also, shout out to all of you guys who used our sponsors over there at Michigan Finest. I appreciate it. Use that code and all that good stuff. I appreciate y'all. All right, so I'm looking through the fights on here. Before we get to the main card, I'm not going to go down the whole card, but I like the Pitbull is stepping back into the cage. You got Andre Arlovsky stepping in there against Marcos Rogerio de Lima, coming in off a win. De Lima is off a loss, and they're giving you plus money on the Pitbull. You know what? I will take.
You see my little ears go up.
Said what?
Plus money.
They're giving you plus 200 on him.
Let's go.
Wow,
man.
that's good too. That's not just
good.
like
right.
That's not
dude,
like just plus 115
like he's coming off a loss, and his opponent's coming off a loss.
I mean, Andre Arlovsky's always got the chance. As of late, he's become more of a decision king in the heavyweight division, right? But he's been really good at keeping these guys that you would think that the UFC is matching up with him in hopes that they get this highlight reel knockout and can move their way up into, some type of title contention and stuff like that. And instead you see good old Andre Arlovsky over here fighting on the prelims and just going to probably win this fight as well because he's just going through these guys still. And I feel like the UFC at this point doesn't know what to do with them because every time he gets on like a 3 or 4 fight win streak, which has been fairly common,
right?
He'll just lose one and then off to the races.
I'd like
again,
to see him get another knockout, man. That's what I always like to remember him by.
I want to see Arlovsky go out like a G. Damn it!
That's what I'm saying. Get you one good knockout and just be done with it, man.
But I don't think he's planning on being done. And honestly,
no, I'm not saying I want to see him be done. I'm just saying I want to see him fucking go out banging, dude. Like,
I thought that's what you were saying is get this one, get that big highlight reel and then call it. I was like, I don't think that's his intentions. And if anything, I'm very surprised with Andrei Arlovsky's career resurgence. To my prior point, it may be mostly decisions, but he's looking really good, honestly, against these younger guys that the UFC just keeps feeding him. I mean,
can't argue it. And like I said, you're going to give me plus 200 on Andrei Arlovsky. I'm taking it.
What is he now? Like 43? 44?
He's I don't even know.
It's got to be between.
I'm taking it
up there.
I'm taking the plus money. Another fight that I like on the prelims before we get to the UFC main card. You got Phil Hawes versus Roman Dolidze. I like that
I'm so
fight.
surprised that one's on there.
And I also like the fact because Phil Hawes is definitely a wrestling fan. If y'all motherfuckers didn't figure it out, listen to some of those walkout songs. They might sound a little bit familiar. Hey, yo, what's good? What's good, Cody? I appreciate you. If you guys are coming in here, make sure you hit the like button. Please share it out so motherfuckers know that we're live. Because did you guys know that Facebook broke the other night? That's why you couldn't watch the last video. It was not my fault. Facebook sucked.
But when you combine 3 ugly mugs on one screen,
speak for yourself.
We usually break the internet, man.
Speak for yourself.
Facebook can't handle all this.
Y'all are just mad because my beard looks better than both yours.
But I do really love this fight. Honestly, both guys have been really impressive in their UFC runs. Phil Hawes has had some hiccups, but I feel like he's gotten past most of that. And if you look at his last couple performances, I feel like that kind of speaks to that. And then Roman Dolidze, man, I'm just really surprised this fight ended up on the prelims. Both of these guys are action fighters. They may wrestle, but they're not like ground you out fighters. Like they're active once they get people on the ground, and they actively still chase the finish. So I'm excited for this matchup and what the implications of it could be, because I feel like whoever wins this one is going to be making a serious move up there at middleweight.
I agree. That's why, like I said, I wanted to kind of highlight that fight. I like Phil Hawes in that fight, though.
Yeah, I agree with you. If the progression of the skills that we've seen over the last couple of fights continues, I feel like Roman Dolidze is this very serious competition, but he should be the better guy as long as he can keep his mental game, because I feel like that's where his lapses kind of were in the past.
I agree. Hell yeah, them reactions keep coming in. Make sure if you guys are watching, hit that like button on whatever the hell you're watching.
It's because you start talking about your beard, bro. They're like, yeah, thumbs up, like
the beard.
You know, if any of these beard companies are looking, I would gladly take a beard oil spec.
Oh god!
Man, do I get rid of that bitch? Get it down to
this old Billy Goat looking motherfucker, man.
Are you guys doing No Shave November or what?
I mean, I'm keeping mine nice and thick. You know, since we're talking about Halloween this weekend, Freshly Squeezed is going to be having him a nice fucking beard come this weekend.
Well, besides Freshly Squeezed, I hope that costume works out for you. One person before we do hop off the prelims, though, that I also hope has a good weekend is our boy Chase Hooper. I'm just a big fan of Chase Hooper, and yet again, somebody that's shown that progression in their skills. He came in the UFC being about as green as you could possibly be, and still was able to just heart out some of those fights. And here we are, where he's actually starting to mature a little bit in his skills. And I feel like this Stevie Garcia fight's going to be it's a good matchup for him. I like the matchup.
All right. Well, we're not going to go like full on breakdowns on these because there's a lot of fights, but you got Dustin Jacoby and Khalil Roundtree. I like this one. A hell of a fight to start off the card if that's the order we're going in. I don't know, man. This is a tough one to call because Khalil Roundtree has been on a fucking tear too. I don't know, man. And then since me and J-Bone, you know, we're always looking at these parlays, and I'm still crying because I listen to these fuckers.
Who's got the odds in this one?
It's really a pick 'em. It's plus 145 for Khalil Roundtree, minus 170 for Jacoby.
Okay.
So that's really
it's a little more than a pick 'em, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
You ain't
it's
winning
not crazy
off of that. I like Dustin Jacoby in that fight, but Khalil Roundtree could knock him out.
Yeah, dude. This is like when I heard this was the matchup that was announced, I was so excited. This is like the little kid jitters, right? Like the type of fights that I wish the UFC would just constantly be able to put on, because like you get two quality strikers, both of which are, to your point, Kyle, known for being able to get people out of there. And I truly don't know which way to go with this fight. I feel like I'm a big Dustin Jacoby fan. I have been basically since he made his re-entry into the UFC, and has kind of been on this incredible win streak ever since. But that being said, Khalil Roundtree, man, he's really rounded out his skills as of late. It looks like basically, I don't know if you guys seen that Rogan episode he did, I don't know, about a year ago now or something. But ever since then, coming off that victory, I forget who it was that he was got the victory off of in that fight. But half a second, I'll pull it up. Carl Roberson. But ever since then, man, he's just looked like he's got his mental game together, and kind of what I was speaking about earlier with Phil Haas. I feel like that has been the thing that kept Roundtree from kind of progressing to the upper echelon of the 205 division. And with that being said, I still feel like Dustin Jacoby will be the one that comes out victorious in this one. But man, I don't know. I definitely wouldn't put money on it, that's for sure. And if I would, it wouldn't be too much.
That's why I said I wasn't really betting on this one, because I was like, man.
If anything, I would probably if you're putting money, I would probably do the dog, because I feel like Khalil Roundtree. I feel like this should be more of a pick 'em than minus 170 plus 150, because that's.
But you got to remember, right now, Dustin Jacoby is still ranked number 13. Khalil Roundtree is unranked.
Well, if you do Roundtree by TKO or KO, it's plus 275, just for the record. So
yeah, you got to get the props. It's all about the props.
Nice little $20 bill on there. You're gonna win $75. Not that
I like it,
but
yeah.
I mean, this motherfucker is going to be playing him left and right. I also am very much interested in U of M kicking Michigan State's ass this weekend.
Let's go.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Fuck Michigan State. But the next fight on the list is Josh Fremd, our homie. Like I said, check out the last chat in the description. If you're watching this on YouTube, click that link. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. But Josh Fremd versus fresh off of the Ultimate Fighter, Tresean Gore. Our boy Josh Fremd is the favorite at minus 155 and a plus 135 dog for Tresean Gore. Fremd is looking to get his first dub here in the UFC. They're both coming off a loss. This is a good fight for both guys. I mean, but man, Tresean Gore, when you look at his record, this dude's got to get him a dub. He's got the story. He's got all the momentum behind him. Dude's 4-2. He's got to get a dub, and he's coming off a loss. So he's got to get a dub. And Josh Fremd, he had all the hype on the regional scene. He's got to get him a dub here too. I like this fight. Both guys got something to win. I love not Khalil Roundtree. I meant to say Tresean Gore. Tresean Gore's story. I love his story, but I think Josh Fremd is going to get the dub. I got to go with the homie on this one.
I mean, yeah. To your point, Kyle, not only is he coming off Not only is he coming off a loss, he's coming off of 2 consecutive losses. And with a record being as light as it is, I don't think if he wasn't a tough vet that they viewed very highly coming off of the season, I believe it was 2 seasons ago or a season ago now, I don't think he would be getting this third shot, to be honest with you. And that being said, I feel like Tresean Gore has done for anybody, I had told you guys before in our little pre-show and stuff, but for any of the viewers out there that didn't know, Tresean Gore went on this whole media thing. It went pretty viral. It looked like it had, I forget how many views now, but it was like 500,000 or some shit. So But clip went viral basically of him just crying during media day, saying that he just wants his kid to be proud of him. He really just is doing this. He's taking time away from his fan. The typical story, but you could tell he was just really pouring his emotions to it and actually cared about his career and his future. And he can tell that this is his last fight, basically his last chance, at least at the moment. And that being said, I had mentioned with these guys, man, it seems like every time we have a friend in the UFC fighting, it's just we have the B side to it, where it's like, man, you guys make it really hard to root against you. But in this one, of course, I got to go with Josh Fremd. He looked really good in his last fight, and that was against, I feel like, much tougher competition in Anthony Fluffy Hernandez, somebody who is moving it yet again. One of those guys that's moving into the upper echelon of the division. He's probably ranked like 18 or something if you look at the official rankings. So, I feel like Tresean Gore, as much as I love his story and stuff like that, it hurts my feelings, man. But I gotta see you lose.
What up, dude?
That ought to be
I'm with you on
shit.
this one, Corey. Though it's hard to root against that guy, man. Especially seeing his story, but it's the fight game, man. It's a cutthroat business.
Dude.
Gotta go with my man Josh Fremd too. So it is.
Hell yeah, man. I like I said, I hope for Tresean Gore's sake that he can have a future in the UFC, but I need my guy to get this dub here. But this next fight's an interesting one too. You got another Contender Series guy, Waldo Cortez Acosta versus Jared Vanderaa on this one. Acosta came in throwing them hands, a former MLB or a former baseball pitcher and all that stuff. I liked what I saw from Acosta. So you know what? Mm-hmm. I'm going with Acosta by fucking knockout.
Yeah, I feel as though you are definitely going in the right direction, because one thing that yet again has been brought up, not just by me, but by many other media outlets coming into this fight in particular, is Jared Vanderaa is one of those guys where the UFC must really like him for some reason, because if I'm not mistaken, he's on a 3-fight skid and he's not that proven in the UFC to begin with.
He's 12-9. He's almost 500.
That's what I mean. I know they. I'm
not hating on nobody. Like, he's in the fucking UFC, dude. Like,
no, I mean no disrespect with all my fight breakdowns. I
get it.
Is what it is.
But it is what it is, bro.
Yeah, and with that being said, a lot of other people were pointing it out too, and that's why I preference it that way. Is that it seems like either they really want your boy to get the win in this, coming off the Contender Series. That's always the momentum builder. Or they really like Vanderaa and want something to happen, but I don't feel like that's the direction this fight's going. To your point, man, he did look really good on Contender Series, and so we shall see. But this is a tough one, man. Vanderaa is not – he had a good start to the UFC, but not so much as of late. And I feel like that once you lose that thing as a fighter, it's really hard to get that back, especially once the snowball really keeps going like a 3-fight skid.
All right, so next fight we got on the card, we got another one with two guys coming off a loss. You've got in the co-main event, you got Max Griffin versus Tim Means. On paper,
love this fight.
Yeah, it's gonna be a banger of a fight, but man, I'm going to tell you something. So, shout out to our guy, Chris Conner from Last Call. He did a great interview with him. If you haven't checked him out before, go check him out. But I like Tim Means, dude. I like Max Griffin, too. Max Griffin is a banger, dude. But you know what, dude? With Tim Means being a vet and all that good stuff, and I like the improvements that I've seen from Tim Means in his last few fights, too. You know what? I'm going with a dirty bird on this one.
Understandably so. I feel like this. Do you guys have the odds up in front of you by chance?
It's a pick 'em. It's plus 160 for Tim Means, plus minus 190 for Max
Yeah,
Griffin.
that's kind of what I figured was Max Griffin would be the favorite in this one. That's kind of the direction I was leaning as well, because I feel like one thing we've seen out of the Dirty Bird is maybe he lost one or two feathers in all these wars that he's went through, because I feel like he's starting to slow down just a hair. I really do, and I feel like Max has done really well in some of these fights, and then other fights he's just not looked like he's on the level of the people that he's gone in there with, and it looks like he just struggles to compete with some of them. So it's like I don't know how to read him sometimes. I really don't. And as a bettor, I get why he could be the favorite in this fight, because I feel like he is probably skill-wise the better fighter, the younger guy. He's got age on his side and stuff like that. I don't feel as though he's slowed down. If anything, I feel like he's probably hitting more of his stride now. But that being said, I don't know if I can get past that mental game that he deals with. And I keep boiling it down, I feel like, in this show. There's always one theme. Like I always say, this one's the mental game on this card, man. And I feel like a lot of these guys deal with that issue. And to that point, I feel like that's the difference with Tim Means, is he never deals with that. He goes in there and fucking puts it on, win, lose, or draw. He almost does it not unconsciously as in he's knocked out on the ground, but he does it just subconsciously, where it's just that's his nature, is just to go in there and go for it. So I think Tim Means may be able to get this one done, Kyle. I kind of agree with you. I kind of second guessed my own pick at first, because I felt like maybe once I did my own brain analytics on it, I'm like, man, I can't trust Max Griffin in this one. I really can't.
I think the reason
I'm corner swayed his own opinion. Nice.
Yeah.
Good job.
like I said, man, for me, the difference I think it's going to be is exactly what you said. It's sporadic a lot with Max Griffin at times, and I feel like with a guy like Tim Means, he's so experienced that
Just
I feel
game.
Like it's
always game.
So right, and so what I'm saying is, if he can weather the early storm for Max Griffin, because I feel like Max Griffin's going to come out and want to try to make a statement. Like if he can't finish Tim Means right away, I feel like Tim Means could catch him if he comes in throwing all these crazy shots. Because let's not forget that the Dirty Bird has real wings. So just saying, like he can hit
elbows.
He's
got real elbows too.
Exactly my point. So he's got a lot of weapons that he's going to be able to hit Max Griffin with. And if Max Griffin doesn't come in there composed, Tim Means is the type of veteran that can catch it. That's just my pick. Who you got, J-Bone?
Taking Tim Means, man, but by decision.
Decision,
all right.
Huh? Yeah. Okay.
And then your main event, you got Calvin Kattar versus Arnold. God damn.
God damn. Man.
It must be
Calvin
Thursday night.
Kattar versus Arnold Allen. Hot damn. Say that 5 times, or maybe you can. I just clearly can't today.
Kattar was a little tough. I'll give you a break on that one. But Arnold Allen, I mean, that's 2 first names, Kyle. You can't get 2, it doesn't get more.
Being the host of this shit, you do a lot of talking, and I guess sometimes apparently I get tongue-tied.
It happens.
No, but in all seriousness, I yet again said it a million times. Love this fucking matchup, dude. This is a good one, huh? I mean, boys, I don't know what you guys think coming into this main event. I know it's just a fight night at the Apex and stuff.
That's a good free main event, if you ask me.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like you're legitimately getting potential title implications, and it's taking course over a 5-round fight, depending on how this plays out. Man, I feel like there's some real implications at 145, especially the way that a lot of these guys aren't active, in the upper echelon of the division. So I like the matchup. To break it down a little bit, though, I feel like Arnold Allen has really done a really good job of being good everywhere and not necessarily great anywhere, except for that Dan Hooker fight. He really showed a little bit in that fight, which being his last performance. That's what you got to always lean on is, are they improving or are they staying stagnant? It looks to me as though he's improving and getting, great at some of those aspects. And that's what he needs to, be an actual title contender. I know he's on this incredible win streak and stuff like that, but he hasn't been incredibly active. He wasn't fighting, the top tier guys and stuff, even when he was active. But now we see him take finally a second fight within a calendar year, which is big for him, at least, because he's been one fight for the last 4 years in a row now. And you can't do that as a top contender. You got to stay active. And I feel like this matchup is a perfect one to do that. We'll see if he's able to implement
He's
the
still
same type
ranked
of
in
game.
the top 10.
Yeah, and for good reason, because he's on a 9-fight win streak or something at 145. I mean, he's one of those guys. He's like a Beneil Dariush, where he should be closer to the title, but he's just not active enough. The fans just don't follow him hard enough, stuff like that. So he's just not, getting that push that, a Yair Rodriguez and stuff like that seems to always get, shoved towards the top end matchups and stuff. And that being said, I like Arnold Allen in this matchup. I feel like Calvin Kattar's got more miles on the clock. He's definitely been in some scraps as of late. You can say what you want about that Josh Emmett fight with the last one, because even I scored that one for him, in my opinion. But that was no easy fight whatsoever. The Holloway fight, that was a fucking grueling fight. I mean, it's just, I feel like he either goes in there and implements his game or he gets beat up. And I feel like in this fight, he's going to be the one getting beat up a little bit.
So I definitely think Kattar's going to take some shots. I mean, it's just the nature of the way he fights. And I think that Arnold Allen, is going to bring it to him. But I feel like, especially coming off of his last fight, which, granted, Kattar's coming off a loss, but who was it he fought in his last fight?
Josh Emmett.
Exactly. They banged it out, dude.
And that's what I said to my, prior point. I scored that fight for him. I thought he was the winner of that fight, and the judges viewed it the other way, which it was close enough that you could say either or. But yeah, they banged it out, and that's why I was saying the mileage thing, man.
And the mileage, don't get me wrong. I mean, I see where you're going with that. Maybe his chin, might be a little bit touched, but let's not forget that, Kattar has the reach advantage. He has the experience advantage.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, Arnold Allen, even though, yes, he's 18-1, he hasn't been fighting that regularly. I think that Calvin Kattar's experience is going to get the job done in this one. I feel like that last fight wasn't really a knockdown for him, as far as even though he lost because he banged it out, especially if Josh Emmett ends up being the next person to fight for the title at 145. I think Calvin Kattar's going to win this one. Who you got, J-Bone?
Going the other way, man. Arnold Allen, it's actually an 11-fight win streak. So
okay. Yeah,
I'm gonna take that.
Double-digit win. Yeah,
ride the momentum wave, man. I think he's taking this one by decision. Like you said, Kattar's got to eat some shots to get in there, man. And I think he's gonna eat too many, and he's just gonna outpunch him, outscore him on the cards, man. Taking Allen by decision.
Yeah, I struggled with this pick, Kyle. I see why you went that way, though, because I feel like Calvin Kattar's definitely the more proven commodity, I guess you could say.
And he's just fought better competition. That's more what it is for me. To me, I talk about this a lot, strength and schedule and who the fuck you fought. We heard Joe Penafiel say that he feels that's why he's going to be the difference November 12th against Austin Bashi. I don't know that I necessarily agree with the strength and schedule, being that I've seen a lot of those fights. But, I mean, hey, that's what makes a fight. If you got, I'm looking forward to seeing it, and I've got the best seat in the house. I'm going to be sitting cage side for this sumbitch, and you guys need to be in the building. Dearborn Heights Hype Athletics Center, come out and see a fist fight. But speaking of fist fights, the fist fight that I think everybody's talking about this weekend has nothing to do with the UFC. I think Jake Paul versus Anderson Silva is going to be garnering the hype come this Saturday. Before we get into Jake Paul versus Anderson Silva, what are your thoughts on Le'Veon Bell versus Uriah Hall?
I love it. I fucking love it, dude. I really do. I wanted to be oh, what a spectacle done fight. And then once I seen Le'Veon, I don't know if you guys watched any of like the interviews or anything leading up.
I saw him with the schmo.
Yeah, I saw Le'Veon Bell with Morning Combat, and he sat down. I think it was just like a 10-minute interview or something, but you could actually tell he wasn't just in there to like play games. He wasn't in there to like Brian Campbell said, if I'm not mistaken, it was like, what made you do this? Like, did you just want to prove to people that like you still had some, like what was it? And it was just literally he wants to show people that he has the skill no matter what sport he steps in. And I feel like this matchup, Uriah Hall, if he feels like this is just going to be a walk in the park and go in there and box with a former NFL guy and it should be, patty cake and I'll be the winner at the end. I don't know if that's going to be the case, man. I feel like Le'Veon Bell's going in there to take heads off. I mean, whether the technique's all there, I know he in that interview had said he has been training for like 4 years or something, or 3 years or something. So it's not like he's fresh into the game. He had mentioned how he doesn't spar, with NFL guys. He spars with boxers and, pro boxers, and actually takes it serious, since he stepped in there. So I don't know. Maybe we see the new Jake Paul 2.0 and a Le'Veon Bell with a knockout over Uriah Hall. But I don't know, man. I feel like this fight's just as interesting to me as the main event almost, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what Le'Veon Bell. He really got me interested and hyped when I watched that interview. You could tell the intensity was there, and he plans on doing something with this career if given the opportunity. And I feel like he's given a really good start with this first fight.
Okay, but here's the thing. To your own point, you say, Le'Veon Bell has taken it super seriously, which from the interviews that I've seen, that does look to be the case. But with that being said, given what's happened with, like you said, Jake Paul, who we're going to talk about in a minute, do you not think that a guy like Uriah Hall or anybody else that comes in from the UFC is not going to be looking at that and being like, you know what? I'll be damned before I end up out here like Tyron Woodley. Yeah. So I feel like Uriah Hall is not trying to end up on the front page of the fucking news. So I think he's probably taking this more seriously than you think. That being said, anyone who knows anything about Uriah Hall knows his kicks were a good part of his arsenal, which won't be utilizable for him in this fight. But I don't know. I'm looking forward to that fight. I'd like to see how it goes. I got to go with Uriah Hall just based on experience and stuff. But definitely interesting fight. What do you think, J-Bone?
Well, Kyle, I'm not going to pick Le'Veon Bell only because Michigan State's playing Michigan this weekend. So, sorry.
Yeah,
sorry. I hope Uriah Hall knocks him clean out of the ring. Let's go.
No, I like me some Sparties as long as they're not playing my boys.
Right, that's my thing. But they're playing Michigan this week, so
yeah, as long as they're not playing my boys in blue, go Sparts. But no, not this weekend. But that being said, one fight I didn't know if you were going to bring up. I don't even know if you guys are necessarily familiar with the guy, but I'm sure some of our viewing audience is, because his fanfare is huge. He's the whole reason why my girl's half-ass interested in watching the fight. Dr. Mike versus Chris Avila. Do you guys know who this Dr. Mike character is? Or
No.
No? Okay. He's like a TikTok, YouTube sensation. He's like a 30-year-old guy that's yet again talked about been a boxer his whole life and stuff. And he's an actual legitimate PhD that, is a practicing doctor and stuff like that, and has – I don't know what his actual following is, so I'm just saying numbers here, but it's like something like 20 million or something like that. Like, he has a very large fan base, and is now
what
transitioning.
What does he do? Pop pimples?
No, he just talks to people about how to cure psoriasis, or oh, hey, if you have a issue with your foot, it could possibly be something like that. He's just one of those TikTok doctors.
And he's fighting?
He's fighting.
Okay, I'm looking at him right now.
Send somebody to his practice to make money. I ain't mad at you, Doc.
And he's fighting the Nate Diaz Army prodigy the Nick Diaz Army prodigy in Chris Avila. So I'm curious on how this fight plays out. I really am.
I just hope that Nate Diaz jumps up in the ring and him and Jake Paul fight next. That's what I want.
You seeing what I'm?
If there's a way to take any legitimacy out of this fight, out of this pay-per-view, that's how we're gonna do it. We're gonna throw in some guy named Dr. Mike.
You're talking about legitimacy on a pay-per-view with fucking Jake Paul.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If we want to try to be legit and be like, hey, we're doing this for the sport and the boxing, you got to take Dr. Mike off your fucking card here.
Well, what if Dr. Mike knocks him out?
He's fighting a legitimate boxer guy in Chris Avila who has a professional record.
I'm not going to read it right now, but have you read Dr. Mike's Wikipedia?
No.
Good, don't. It's I'm not going to read it here anyway. But let's just God, we got to get away from the circus when it comes to boxing, and we're helping move along the circus with Dr. Mike. I'm sorry, I don't know nothing about the guy.
That's why I feel like if you were a little more versed on the topic, you would be laughing more than you'd be like, oh, it's a circus thing. I feel like it's at least like he's taking it serious, but he's one of these other social media guys stepping into the ring type of deal. So I just figured it was definitely worth pointing out yet again. I don't know if any of our viewers.
The fact is, he's getting paid. He's getting paid.
Yeah, exactly.
We are all social media guys as well. So if anybody wants to put us on a fight card, I am down to get knocked out.
Hell yeah. Bro, I'm with it. And speaking of it, our boy Josh Bruckner, past guest of this show and YouTube fucking star at this point, is fighting on one of these cards in Dallas coming up as well. So I'm with it. But talking about money, talking about what's going to get the money on this card is Jake Paul versus Anderson Silva. If you're trying to get your money together before tax season, I know all y'all are already shipping out your taxes. I ship them out every day at work. So if you're getting ready for your taxes, hit up the homies at G3 Payroll and Tax. You need to hit them up for accounting, for any type of tax needs and all that. Jack and the homies will get you together. Their links are in the description. They also have a website as well. Make sure you check them out. Tell them Knockouts and 3 Counts sent you. Hey, maybe you'll win a bunch of money off of Jake Paul versus Anderson Silva, and then you'll have even more money come tax time. See what I did there? But all right. Jake Paul.
Talking about money, I heard that line is getting pretty juicy in this fight, actually. I heard Anderson Silva is quite the underdog at this point.
Fuck yeah. Let me get Anderson Silva money.
Really? So I figure if we're talking betting lines a fair bit in this pod.
Let me see if they got it on DraftKings or anything.
I would imagine.
Quickly turn into a betting pod show. And whatever you do, don't take
shout out to our guy Matthew Priest. Rambling's a grappleman and a gambler.
Yes.
And our
grambler.
Grambling, grappler, rappler. No. But going into this fight, man, what's your guys' thoughts now that we're actually here?
I'll tell you my quick thought. I just want Anderson Silva to end this and just knock his head right off. Let's just get it over with quick and just knock him straight out of the ring, please. That's all. Does
that end the spectacle that is Jake Paul boxing if he does lose this fight?
Probably not. We're probably stuck with this forever. I mean, it's like a new thing now. So, I mean, look. I'll give him credit where credit's due. He looks like he trains well. The guy, absolutely seems like he's taking it serious.
This must be
on the boxing world. So you got to give props to him. Credit where credit's due. He's done a great job. As far as just winning and losing, I just want to see him lose. That's just what it comes down to. Especially a legend like Anderson Silva, like. With the way he's been handling these MMA guys, like who better than to step up for the MMA world? You know what I mean? And
who better?
The legend himself, man. Let him come in and just end it all.
I just worry, man. I feel like a lot of us are like, deer in the headlights of his boxing career as of late and not taking into effect the fact that he was on like a 7-fight skid coming out of the UFC, right? Yeah. And so that's the thing, right? Even though he fought Izzy,
not to mention he's also like 48 and is taking a lot of punches.
He's 48 now.
That's 47.
47.
Still, you were close, but Yeah, I know, and that's kind of where
I love Anderson Silva. Do not
Yeah.
get this wrong. I want Anderson Silva to win this fight. But the thing is, especially after listening to Ken Robles, which you can check that episode out in the archives and all that. If you guys are new here, hit the subscribe button, like button, all that. But, listening to Jake Paul behind the scenes and that kind of stuff, Jake Paul, is cool. Like I said, as far as what he's doing for the fighters and, the people that are on those cards. So, and at the end of the day, the one thing that can't be taken away from him, the guy's got punching power, and that's what scares me with Anderson Silva. So I'm going with the Spider, but this fight makes me nervous.
Yeah, I definitely, my heart is for sure Anderson Silva's winning this fight, right? Like that's a heart pick for sure. But my mind's like, man, to your point, Jake Paul's got that power. He's been training boxing. I mean, he probably not longer, but he's been focused and individualized in boxing and had massive amounts of money to pour into it. So he's taking it as serious as you can get. He's done a great job as of late. Yeah, solid vapors cough. It ain't a smoker's cough no more. It's a vapors cough.
Thanks for sharing that with us, Corey. Appreciate that.
But, well, I tried to. I don't know the headphones. I don't know which way to pick.
Next time, cough directly into the camera so we can get the full effect.
There you go. But no, I don't know which way to go. Like I say, my heart leans towards Anderson, but my head leans towards Jake Paul in this one. I feel like the punching power is going to be the difference. The fact that this is probably his toughest competition yet is
probably.
Yeah, I would say probably. Who would have won a fight in the UFC before they both left? Tyron Woodley or Anderson Silva?
They wouldn't have ever fought. They were not even at the same weight.
Okay, but they were one weight class away, Kyle.
I get what you're saying, though. I mean, with Woodley being the more active and younger at the time, I feel like
but I mean, Woodley had gotten tagged the fuck up on the way out of the UFC too.
I know.
Like,
this could come down to fight IQ, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anderson Silva
the fact that Anderson Silva has still won fights, I'll take Anderson Silva.
Being the fact that this is not an MMA fight, though, that's
in boxing. I would take Anderson Silva. Absolutely. What I saw anyway.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. Is I feel like Anderson's at least got clean hands. It's really all boils down to his defense in this one. And if anything, I feel like his defense in the boxing matches that we've seen up to this point has looked really solid. I mean, he's played, ring or rope games with people and everything, where he's just leaned back against the ropes and dodging punches and hitting them with a counter. So I feel like he definitely stands a solid shot in this one. To what I was saying earlier, I do personally feel as though this is the toughest competition. Like you were saying with our past guest, he had brought up the fact, though, that he wishes he would have seen a boxer actually step in here and it, be a true professional boxer at this point in his career. I don't know if that would have been tougher competition or not with the whole Rahman Jr. fight or
hell yes, it would have.
You think that would have been tougher than the Anderson Silva fight?
Only from the sense that he's a boxer. They've already sparred together. Like there's a lot. Like I said, I think Jake Paul was a lot more worried about that fight. Hence why you saw the hydration clause and all that shit. If I'm not mistaken, I haven't heard nothing about a hydration clause this time or any of that kind of shit. Like I think he was more worried about that. Also because I think he knew that Rahman Jr. knew something about what he could do in the ring. Again, I'm not discounting the fact that Jake Paul can knock somebody out, but I think there's a reason why we haven't seen him really fight a boxer other than saying he would fight Tommy Fury, because no disrespect to Tommy Fury, but it's not like Tommy Fury's a world beater like his brother.
Right. Yeah, that's where, like I say, I don't know. I wish that matchup would have just played out and we could have seen it so that we would go into this fight with that knowledge, whether he was up to that level or not, whatever the case be. But yet again, like I say, heart leans one way, head leans another. I don't know. With the Lions being the way they are, it's worth throwing a couple bucks on Anderson Silva. See if you can get a couple bucks out of this fight and at least get the pay-per-view paid for.
If I would have played the parlay that all you thought I was crazy for, I'd have $500.
Wait, did we tell you not to do that?
Yeah,
All
you
three of
wanna
you
bet
son
that
of bitches did.
Wait a minute. You took our advice on gambling?
No, but you guys talked me out of it, and then I fucking changed the parlay up.
Sounds like an excuse to me, SA.
Look here, you didn't win any
Look
mother
at
either, did you?
one thing I've learned about gambling, which I
You
suck
didn't win
at.
any mother either, did you?
I never ever take anybody else's advice, which is why I usually lose. But still, at least I'm gonna lose because I made myself lose.
That's great.
Good luck. Good luck this weekend.
Fuck y'all. I could have used $500. I could have really used $500. Fuck y'all.
Good luck.
But now that we've talked about Jake Paul and Anderson Silva, that's a perfect way to kind of lead into the other part of things I wanted to talk about, because when we talk about the impact that Jake Paul has had on boxing and all those things, whether you think it's a good thing, whether you think it's a bad thing, whether you think whatever it is, it's got people talking, both in YouTube and sports and boxing and all these things. And regardless of whether you like the guy or not, with the amount of money that's being generated, people want to see the Jake Paul stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do I think that it's kind of died from the first couple fights? Maybe so.
Absolutely.
But what's undeniable is Jake Paul and Logan Paul, whether you like them or you don't like them, you got to have respect, because let this sink into you. Within a week's time, Jake Paul's going to main event against Anderson Silva on pay-per-view. And then the very next week, his brother, who's been signed with WWE for 5 months, is going to wrestle maybe his only second match against Roman Reigns in the main event in Saudi Arabia at fucking Crown Jewel.
Wild.
Fucking insane.
I think that might be his third match, Kyle, though.
We just can't get away from these guys.
I think, didn't he do the first entry? I think it was against Miz.
Oh, at Mania. He did the one at Mania.
Yeah, Mania was the first one, which I was there for. Ring the bell. But I that was when it was him and the Miz versus that was him.
Maybe,
and the Miz.
maybe I'm wrong then. Maybe it was.
Did he have something at SummerSlam? Sorry, I was behind on the bill.
Yes, didn't he face the Miz?
Well, yeah,
Again? Yeah, he faced. Okay, so
Yeah,
he faced him twice.
Yeah, he
That's
faced the
I
Miz.
could have swore.
Okay, so
I could
it's
have
his
swore I
third.
remembered him.
So it's his third match. I'm mistaken, but either way, the fact that this guy's had 3 matches and is in the ring in the main event against Roman Reigns, who's the longest reigning champ in how many years? He's arguably the top wrestler in the world right now. I mean, this guy's been champion for over 2 years, and this guy's been in the business 5 seconds and is already in the main event. What do you guys think about the impact of Jake Paul and Logan Paul? And now that they've both been out a while, what are your thoughts on what they're doing across combat sports and wrestling?
I mean, timing-wise, that's wild, right? 2 main events across 2 weekends in completely different platforms, right? It's like
completely different countries.
Yeah. Well, yeah, countries too, but platform as in one in wrestling, one in boxing.
Right, but I mean, that's in Saudi Arabia. That's why I said that.
Yeah, well, why I'm preferencing that is it would be one thing, right, if Jake Paul, being as successful as he is up to this point, had Logan Paul fight, KSI or one of the other boxing fights that he would. The following week in a big venue, they could do a Saudi Arabia or some shit with something like that. It wouldn't, but that would be way different. We're talking about a completely different thing where you're seeing, Triple H and whoever else is at the helm of this is clearly seeing something in the kid that they're putting him all the way in the main event. So, between the two of them, I don't know whether to classify it as a earthquake or what you want to call it to the combat sports world, but they really came in here and shook things up. That's for sure. Say what you want, whether you're still following to this point or not. To your point, Kyle, I do feel as though there's definitely been some people that have fell off the bandwagon and stuff. But that being said, man, there's still definite interest in these fights. That's like you were also saying earlier. there's way more hype about this fight than there is the UFC card this weekend. And the UFC is always the front runner 99% of the time. So they're doing something right still. And I feel like Logan making his way into this main event. I mean,
I don't think he's coming home with a belt, but I don't think he's going to do bad.
Listen, if he comes home with his belt, I'm going to riot. All right. I'm going to lose my shit. But to your point, though, you got to give these guys credit, right? I mean, these guys are making us watch. They're making us talk. That's the ultimate goal. More eyes on the product, man. So Triple H knows what he's doing by having Logan in the main event. Let's just hope it doesn't go south, as they say, and some kind of you know what? I'll just lose my shit. That's all I'm gonna say. I'll just lose my shit. Whatever. Want to see me lose my shit? Have Logan Paul walk out with the belt. I'm gonna lose my shit.
Since we're moving past the impact part and we're moving into the match part of it, I guess you could say.
Hold on a second.
Okay.
Hold on a second.
Right.
I didn't even get to give my assumption. So here's the thing, dude. I hear what you're saying. I obviously already said I don't think that Logan Paul is going to get the belt from Roman here. But here's the thing. These things are a week apart. Triple H isn't stupid. What happens if Jake Paul shows up in Saudi Arabia? And we all know that Roman Reigns has the bloodline. What if Jake Paul comes out to help his brother? At the end of the day, it's pro wrestling, dude. And at the end of the day, people either want to see you pay money to see you kick somebody's ass, or they pay money to see you get your ass kicked. And I think at the end of the day and at the core of the Paul brothers, that's what it is. People either love them or they want to see them get their ass kicked and fail. And that, I think, is what WWE is capitalizing on. And at the end of the day, you know, I was talking about this with somebody earlier when it comes to somebody like Conor McGregor. And, you know, when you talk about, like, before the fight with Oliveira and Makhachev, how Oliveira was talking about, if I win this fight, I want to fight Conor McGregor next, and why Conor McGregor doesn't deserve a title shot. He doesn't, because he's lost like 7 fights in a row. But at the same time, I guarantee you, if you put that on a marquee, more people want to see that fight than 90% of the fights you could make right now.
Yeah, what garners more interest to you guys, Volkanovski or the McGregor fight?
I'm a diehard, dude. I like the Volkanovski thing, but the thing is, anytime you put McGregor on the marquee,
it's gonna sell more fights. I guarantee you that.
Always,
it's way more entertaining, right? It goes back to the entertainment aspect, the WWE aspect of things. You talk people into the building, and it just works. It's a proven marketing scheme that just works 100% of the time. And a guy like Conor, that's why he's so, you know, I don't want to say entitled, but that's why he's always in the talks at the top, because he could talk his way right back in.
His name has worth. Just putting him on a marquee means his name has worth. At this point, if you put either of the Paul brothers on there, their names have worth.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how else to put it. That's what it is. And whether you like Jake Paul, you like Logan Paul, you don't like them.
They don't need a lot of help from anybody for me to hate them even more. But you throw Jake Paul into the Logan Paul Roman Reigns main event and somehow pulling some kind of screw job. Once again,
shut the fuck up before
I will lose my shit. Okay, if you ruin,
we do not need David Arquette of 2022. All right,
you're gonna see me just grab my TV like this and just rip it down. I'm just gonna.
We do not need David Arquette 2022. We don't.
It would. I mean, talk about a shakeup, right? That would be.
Don't you dare! We've got one of the best title reigns.
How can we make?
How many
how
years?
How can we hate these guys even
and
more?
You're telling me you want to see an end to a fucking Paul brother?
Who said that?
Corey's. Hell no!
Corey, no.
What is wrong with you, dude? I know you're not the biggest wrestling guy, but you got one of the best title reigns in the last 10 years, and you want it to end to a fucking Paul brother?
In his 3rd match ever, yep.
Hell no. Hell no.
You're the You're the anti-wrestling guy.
Hell no. I
You hate us.
I fuck with the Paul brothers, but they do
No,
not need to win
I'm
title
kidding.
from Roman Reigns. Don't you even put that in
I
the
was kidding.
fucking universe, because we know WWE tends to do some crazy stuff.
It would
let's
be
just
the
see-
shakeup of all shakeups.
It would. I just want to see the bloodline come out there and just put them through like every table in the arena and just be done with it. Like, let's write them off.
Hit him with the
No.
one and done.
Okay. I
Seriously.
gave him my original question when I had started to kind of transfer into the match itself earlier that I wanted to pose you guys was, do you guys think it's just a run through for Roman, or do you think it actually ends up being a match? I mean, it is the main
It's going to be a
event, so
match.
it's
going to be a match, especially with it being the main event. I don't know how long they're going to go. It'll probably be like 10, 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes. Here's the thing. Logan Paul has proven that he can go in there. Like what did I tell you? Go back, and if you guys are new here, hit that subscribe button and go back and check out the episode to hear it for yourself. But what did I say when I came back from WrestleMania when it pertains to Logan Paul?
Yeah, the kid can do it. I remember.
He didn't look like a celebrity in there. And after it came out how much he was training and seeing the videos of his training and all those things, I find it hard to believe that if they're putting him in the ring with somebody like Roman Reigns, that guy isn't busting his dick trying to make sure that he's ready to, he's ready to go come Crown Jewel. So I think he will probably have another good performance, especially being in there with somebody like Roman Reigns. I just hope that Corey didn't speak some dumb shit into existence, because we know in Saudi Arabia.
Let's reverse it, Kyle. Let's just hope he goes in there and Roman.
Look, bro, all I'm saying is when we were in Saudi Arabia, Goldberg beat the Fiend. All right, that's all I'm saying.
Let's not bring that bad energy.
Goldberg beat the Fiend, and then he almost killed the Undertaker.
What if some Saudi prince or king or whatever somewhere is just like paying them to come over, and he's like, the one thing I want is the title reign. I'll give you all the money in the world. I want it to end to Logan Paul. That's the stipulation.
Look, if it was Vince, I'd say you probably got a shot at this, but it's
you shut your mouth.
I don't think Triple H is gonna go for it, dude.
You shut your mouth. That guy's got a lot of money, so you just shut your mouth. But with that being said, if you got to get your money together, again, check out our homies at G3. But with that being said, let's talk about what went down on AEW last night, bro. Like, MJF came out spitting fire again. I'm gonna drink your piss. Dude, like, this guy came out mocking John Moxley to his wife, and then right after she says, you can't say with all due respect and then say something disrespectful, Renee, shut your mouth. Like, MJF was on a nut last night, dog. What do you think about the MJF promo, J-Bone?
That's the devil himself, dude. That's
when the guy comes out and says, do we got any devil worshippers in the house?
Yeah, no. I mean, like I said before, man, anything he says and touches turns to gold lately. So you got to expect stuff like that from him. He's going to find a way to make you talk about him, and he has. I am curious to see where this whole thing's going with Mox, though. It's kind of a
dude. I mean, with the way that show ended, dog. With the way that show ended, I mean, we saw the firm come in, and you saw last week, MJF told them, do not touch Moxley. Yeah. And then he comes out to the top of the stage, and you can see that he's conflicted. And then he runs down there to stop it. And then the firm stomped him out.
Yeah.
So MJF and Moxley were left laying on Wednesday. So I don't know what.
Kind of curious, like, where are you going to go with that? We're going to have, I mean, are we working on turning him?
See Mox and MJF in a tag match against Big Cass and somebody?
I mean,
maybe.
It is what it is. I'm just confused as to where they're going with the story, because with your best heel, probably the best heel in the business, MJF, it's going to be hard to
turn babyface.
Yeah, so it's going to be hard to I guess we have two baby faces in the title picture. I mean, it's happening.
I think the overall story is going to give fans more respect for him. But then again, we are talking about a guy who calls himself the devil. So I wouldn't be shocked if he pulls a horseshoe out of his ass come full gear.
Yeah.
And wins by any means necessary.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. I either way, I didn't expect MJF to get stomped out like that.
I didn't either.
That was very interesting. What did you think about in the main event we had Mox versus Pentagon, which is what was going on before that, which was a banger. I like that. It's going to be interesting to see what we see with Mox. We know it's going to be him and MJF. I'm really looking forward to that at Full Gear. Hopefully, we can get credentialed to that, AEW, if you're listening. But with that being said, the other thing that was really interesting to me off of AEW was Chris Jericho coming out and saying that he's going to defend the Ring of Honor title next week against any former Ring of Honor world champion. This raises the question, who do you think said Ring of Honor champion is going to be?
I'll tell you who I want to be first, but I think he's going to run through a few of them. I'd love to see it be PCO. Just saying. Let's go.
PCO, shout out to PCO, just re-signed with Impact for another year. I would love to see PCO on there. I don't know that I think it's going to be PCO, but I could also see Jericho doing that just to be an asshole. But teasing it to be somebody else, and then whatever. But I don't know, man.
I mean, he's got a lot of guys he's going to have to get through. Eventually, he's going to run into the one that's not going to be no joke, right? I mean, not saying any of them are jokes, but you're going to start. This is going to go for a minute, And it's
he's also been selective to stay away from people too, because don't forget that he hasn't gone with Samoa Joe yet.
Right.
And I
think we'll get there. We're going to get there.
They got their issues with Warjo and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. I feel like for this particular one, it's going to be somebody maybe outside that's not really with the Ring of Honor stuff right now. But then again, let's not forget, we could see the introduction of more people because you got Ring of Honor. Is it Final Battle or what pay-per-view they got coming up in December? Ring of Honor's got another pay-per-view, so I could see them bringing in more people. But this is, again, like we've been talking about for the last few weeks, why I hope that we can see a Ring of Honor TV show soon. So at least there's something to give some meat to some of the Ring of Honor stuff other than it just being great matches. I don't know, man. I don't really have a name that I think it could be. Although, you know what? Fuck it. Yes, I do. It's going to be Matt Taven.
There you go. Like I said, there's a list of people that it could be.
Well,
what about guys like Homicide? I'd love to see Homicide in there.
Oh, I'd love to see it. But Matt Taven just signed with AEW, just finished up with Impact. I was there when he wrestled in the main event of Madison Square Garden and climbed the nice dope ass purple ladder to go get him the belt. Like I said, I think Matt. There you go, ding ding ding. I kind of think that's going to be where it's at. A couple more things I want to talk about before we get out of here. Do you guys have any thoughts on the rumors of this buyout with CM Punk? Do you think that there's any validity to it? Because I haven't seen anything in stone. We do know that Ace Steel, his trainer, already got released by the company, who was one of the producers and involved in the fight. He's the one that they said allegedly bit one of the Bucks. What do you guys think about this? And now that we're a few months removed from what happened, what do you think needs to be done as far as CM Punk? Do you want to see him come back, or do you think what he said is so detrimental to the company that if you bring him back, it could do more damage to your company?
Yeah, I think it's just that's just it. We don't know. You know what I mean? We don't know the seriousness. We know what we've seen on TV. We know what
we know the seriousness. If people are already getting fired and they've been suspended and off TV since it happened, clearly this is not just an angle.
Yeah, so
you took the elite out of all elite wrestling. Just saying.
I'm a huge CM Punk fan, always have been, but if a guy is toxic to the workplace, bro, it's not a good look. He's got to go. It sucks, and it really sucks. But hey, we're opening new doors here. We're opening doors for him to go do whatever if he chooses to do that. And I'm not saying he's going to go back to WWE. It'd be freaking crazy if he did. But yeah, if I'm Tony Khan, here's where I put my foot down.
Daughter and stupid son-in-law.
Yeah. Here's where I put my foot down, though. Hey, I'm gonna make an example out of you. You're toxic here. Here's your money. Get out of my company, dude. And that's gonna teach anybody else. Nobody's higher than the company, right? CM Punk was the number one guy, and you're gone because you can't do it right. So,
well,
Here's
I
the
mean,
thing,
talk
go ahead.
going back to a couple months ago when you guys were talking, Tony Khan needs to grow some nuts and learn how to handle these type of situations if he's going to run, the second largest wrestling promotion and stuff, and try to make all these moves that he does in the wrestling sphere. And if this is the way of doing it, I mean, to your point, it definitely shows that, hey, we're not going to tolerate that type of bullshit. Even if you're under contract, we'll just give you your fucking money and let you leave. Like, doesn't matter if you're our star. It doesn't matter if you were just holding our belt. Doesn't matter what the case was. If you want to, play games, we'll play games back, because I did not think it was going to play this way. I definitely was under the impression, at least, that they were kind of letting everything subside in the background. Hopefully, a couple months passes and bygones be bygones type of thing, and we get back to work. But now here we are 2 months removed or 3 months removed or whatever it's been. And for this to be rumored as much as it is, that even before you guys had brought it up to me, I had heard about it from multiple sources and stuff. So there's definitely, I feel as though, some validation or whatever you want to word it as to the claim itself. But I don't know. We'll see if that's really how everything plays out. I mean, but as of right now, it does kind of seem like that's maybe the move that we're seeing. I mean, it's all playing out in the background, so it's hard to say for sure. But if this many people are talking, there's probably some fire where there's that smoke.
I don't know. What do you think, J-Bone?
I mean, hey, like I said, man, if that's what we got to do to lay down the law, then me as a boss, if I'm running this shit, if you're toxic in my workplace, you got to go, dude. That is what it is. But like you said earlier, Kyle, this is professional wrestling, dude. Anything could happen. This could be a whole thing where they're like, yeah, we're buying him out of his contract. Just kidding. He signed with Ring of Honor now.
I mean, let's not forget, CM Punk is the same guy who signed his contract on a barrel at Money in the Bank when he won the title. But that being said, like, this is just different because, like, we're not talking like promo type shit. Like, he was straight up like saying, fuck this guy, you're a kid, and it turned into a fight. Like, this is not like, I mean, again, am I saying that this couldn't end up being turned into a wrestling storyline? Sure. But I think this one is one that I don't know is going to happen that way. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out. The other interesting thing to talk about, we had the debut of the daughter of the great one. Speaking of Roman Reigns, another, potential bloodline member down the road maybe has made their debut on WWE TV. What are your thoughts upon your first gazing at The Rock's daughter, now known as Ava Raine?
Well, first, I can't not see The Rock in her. You know what I mean?
Oh, dude, there's no denying it.
It's crazy. Hey, but it's cool that she's with Joe Gacy, the schism thing going on. That's pretty cool. I didn't expect her to be there. I didn't expect her to start out there, and I think that's going to be the problem for me, and I'll fully admit it. I'm going to expect so much from her considering who her father is that it's probably going to be like I'm going to expect her to overachieve, and that's not fair to her. You know what I mean? But that's just it's so hard when you're the child of one of the biggest stars in the world. And then
when you've got the Usos and then Solos come in and killed it right off the bat. But that being said, though, I kind of liked what she said in her promo, though, because she even kind of like referenced that in like a schism-ish type of way, because she was like, I know what you all expect me to do and what you all think I'm going to do, but I can promise you that, whatever it was she said, I can promise you that you have no idea, what's going to happen. I like that because it's a little ode to like, okay, yeah, you guys know I'm The Rock's daughter, but you don't know what the fuck I'm going to do.
Yeah.
So I like that. At least it keeps a little mystique to it. Obviously, the immediate comparisons, I mean, it's really no real way around that, I feel like. But I don't know. I got nothing but high hopes for her. I'm not saying that I'm jumping to any guns and that she needs to be fighting for a title in a year or whatever the fuck. But I mean, if you really think about it, look at Charlotte. Charlotte killed it. Paige killed it. Natty Neidhart killed it. You know, you go down the list, Tamina Snuka, another one of her cousins, killed it. You know, her whole family line that's come in, second generation, third generation, killed it. So, and we all know that The Rock's worked with her and all that stuff too. So I think that even if what we see off the rip from Ava Raine isn't, you know, the best stuff off the rip or whatever, I think in due time, it's going to be pretty hard for her not to be great at this.
Yeah.
Especially with the fact that they got her in the WWE Performance Center right off the rip. So she's learning the WWE way of doing things and working on TV, and you're already on USA TV.
Yeah.
Like, look, dude, by the time that girl gets to Raw or SmackDown, we might need to smell what she's cooking. So all I know, I'm interested to see what's going on. You got to see what's cooking from Knockouts and 3 Counts. Make sure you hit that follow button, you know, subscribe button, all those good buttons. Check out those social medias in the bottom right-hand corner to see what me and J-Bone throw together for Halloween costumes. I've got mine most of the way through as long as my glasses and shit get here in time. I could always, you know, take a page out of the Dudley Boys book and just get me a pair of the black glasses, put a little duct tape around the middle of them bitches, and we could go. Get me a tie-dye shirt. We'd be all right. But, yeah, man, I'm looking forward to Halloween. A lot of good shit to come. Shout out again to our sponsors, Michigan Finest and G3 Payroll and Tax. Tell them Knockouts and 3 Counts sent you. Use the promo codes and all that shit. Hit them buttons, hit them shares, and fuck your couch.
Force your friends to watch. Force your friends to watch.
Yeah, use the bobby pins too, just like Chucky.